What were you doing last night at 3 o'clock in the morning? Probably sleeping, or at least you were in bed, like most of us. Bondi and Cash were icing MS-13.
First reaction is all of our law enforcement officers are safe. That was the number one thing. They're safe. They executed a clean, safe operation, and the bad guys in custody. And thanks to the FBI, we got one of the worst of MS-13 off the streets this morning.
We were able to be out here in force to show the American people, to be here in person, that this means a lot to her and the mission and securing American communities. And that's what we're doing. That's why we're here. We're supporting our guys and gals on the ground. But we also want to know and inform America that safety is our primary concern of these communities, and we effectuated that today.
Henry Santos, the top MS-13 gangster on the East Coast, got tossed in a paddy wagon and is being held on gun charges. The feds found a fully loaded Glock next to his bed in a townhouse in Virginia.
This guy was living in a neighborhood right around you. No longer. Arrests have increased 468% from the same period last year. We didn't need new laws, as President Trump always said. We needed a new president. And we have great leadership standing behind him to fight to keep America safe and make America safe again.
Santos was collared by a joint agency task force, DOJ, FBI, ATF, and ICE. And the task force already picked up hundreds of bad hombres. The governor of Virginia says they could have arrested this guy years ago, but Biden wouldn't lift a finger.
I just want to emphasize the pace and the focus. And so, no, these were not lists that were available in the previous administration because they wouldn't do that. And the minute that we had partners that would do this with us, then lists of 500, 600, 700 targets could be put together in collaboration with state police and federal authorities and our Department of Corrections. Critically important, and I cannot emphasize enough the collaboration and support and leadership out of the new administration that is so different than what we saw in at least the previous 3 years of my administration.
Biden was letting top-level foreign gangbangers lounge around in the Virginia suburbs, living next door to lobbyists. These Latin gang leaders were a 30-minute drive from the White House.
This took place 30 miles outside of Washington, D.C., where you have politicians and mainstream media journalists who live in this city and who have derailed against the president and his crackdown on illegal immigration and on violent crime. They should be grateful that monsters like this are no longer going to be living in their communities.
By the way, look at this working mom. Baby Nicholas, a.k.a. Nico. In a few years, he'll be tangling with CNN just like his mom. That's if CNN is still around. Trump's been flying guys like Santos to mega prisons in El Salvador, so we don't have to waste money and manpower prosecuting and imprisoning them. Homeland Secretary Kristi Noem was at the mega prison yesterday telling every MS-13er in America, if we catch you, this is where you're going.
I also want everybody to know, if you come to our country illegally, this is one of the consequences you could face. First of all, do not come to our country illegally. You will be removed and you will be prosecuted. But know that this facility is one of the tools in our toolkit that we will use if you commit crimes against the American people.
All these Latin gangbangers that got iced are going to get handcuffed, have their heads shaved, and get a one-way ticket to the most hardcore prison in the world. 23 hours a day, they're in a cell with 70 other men. Gutfeld might enjoy it, but most don't. No bueno. And if you don't self-deport, that's okay, because Tom Homan has a sweet tooth for deportations.
We got a lot of tools in the toolbox. El Salvador prison's one. We got Gitmo. We got other countries. So for those countries who push back on taking their criminal nationals back, we'll send them to another country. We got a lot of tools in this toolbox. Again, President Trump's a game changer. We got illegal immigration on board down 96% because of the policies of the Trump administration. I wake up every day like a kid in the candy shop getting ready to go to work.
Trump calling Homan a superstar. So Jose can skedaddle, or Homan's going to treat him like a Skittle and taste the rainbow. And any caravans thinking of coming, as Joe Biden says, don't.
If you invite me into your home because you say, I want to come to your house for dinner, and I go to your house and I start putting mud on your couch and spray painting your kitchen, I bet you're going to kick me out. Well, we're going to do the same thing if you come into the United States as a visitor and create a ruckus for us. We don't want it. We don't want it in our country. Go back and do it in your country.
That's common sense conservatism. Can't argue with that. Democrats tried to make it complicated, but it's not. Don't break into our country, and if you do, we're kicking you out. Instead of changing diapers and making sandwiches, Border Patrol's patrolling the border, and police aren't being defunded. They're doing what they're good at, and they're getting a pat on the back.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. And we're going to continue to let good cops be cops across this country. This is not possible without the folks that do the job every single day. And as director of the FBI, it is a privilege to lead some of these brave men and women. The next time you see a cop, thank them. The next time you see someone safeguarding our schools, shake their hand. The next time you see our brave men and women of the FBI and the local and federal state police take down a violent terrorist, maybe give him a hug. We will not stop until this national security crisis is recognized, brought into check, and eliminated.
But it's not all about the grind. Got to have that work-life balance. Just before Cash was icing gangs, he was on the ice. Look at him. Just 48 hours ago, he was playing ice hockey. And since it's DEI Thursday, we can't ignore the fact that Cash is the first ever Indian hockey player. Another first for the Trump administration. The whole cabinet's on a mission, and they've known their orders since day one.
When the president asked me to do this job, he's told me two things up front, amongst many. He said, first, he said, Pete, you're going to have to be tough as
No one's born tough, not even me. Toughness is forged through discipline and resilience. But America let DEI sap our strength. When you start putting tough guys at the top, the morale just trickles down.
You are at the front of the formation. I don't have to tell you that. You know that. You're living in history. You're living in reality. You're living in a dangerous neighborhood. You are America's power projection platform. The American people rely on you. I rely on you. Admiral Paparo relies on you. The Commander-in-Chief relies on you. As you step forward and say, we're not here to start war, but we're going to be strong so that we are able to deter war. And I see young men and young women willing to answer the exact same call.
Yesterday, the vice president showed up to Quantico and had lunch in the mess hall right before he fired some rounds off with the boys and gave them a little pep talk.
We care about excellence and we care about patriotism. And if you are awesome and you are a patriotic Marine, then we are going to do everything that we can to make you the most lethal fighting force the world has ever seen. And that is what we're doing every single day. No more quotas, no more ridiculous mumbo jumbo, no more diversity training. We believe the real strength and the real diversity in the United States Marine Corps is that you all come from every walk of life, come from every corner of America, and you have got the strength and the purpose to win the nation's wars, and that is what the Marine Corps is going to do, just like it's done for damn near 250 years.
Guys like JD get it. Biden dozed soldiers for not getting vaxxed and let those precious warriors walk. Now we're recruiting, we're killing terrorists and icing cartels. And all the media wants to talk about is a group chat.
Do you believe that a mistake was made here, though?
Caitlin, as I've just told you, I've just answered the question. I wasn't part of it. And, I'm not going to speculate more than what the president's already talked about and those who've been involved have talked about. But we'd love to talk about the veterans.
Is this typical for the cabinet to have conversations over Signal? Is this something that you use?
Well, Caitlin, as soon as you undoubtedly do not want to talk about the VA, I have a question as VA Secretary. As Cabinet, I want to ask you, because I've been curious about this, because my job is to take care of veterans, and I would like to know why CNN is hostile to veterans, especially one in Florida, where you just had a $5 million defamation suit taking offense at a veteran who was trying to help people. In fact, one of your employees actually said, we're going to nail him. I have a question for you, Caitlin. Is that employee still employed? Are you really concerned about veterans?
This is about the forgotten men and women, the war fighters who got sidelined, the cops who got defunded, the auto worker whose job went global. The golden age is for everybody.
To hear an announcement like this that's going to force the auto companies to build their assembly plants in the United States instead of right across the border in Mexico is music to our ears. And we are so happy that President Trump is doing what he promised to do during his campaign, and that's to put heavy tariffs on these countries that are shipping vehicles back into the United States.
We're looking to make things in America again. And if you're not growing, you're dying. That's why Trump's looking over the horizon.
We need Greenland for national security and international security. So I think we'll go as far as we have to go. We need Greenland, and the world needs us to have Greenland, including Denmark.
JD will be in Greenland tomorrow with his wife, Usha. Just a casual date night in Greenland. Maybe talk about real estate over dinner. You see anything you like, honey? Trump's setting high expectations for the country and for his cabinet. Everyone's working hard and showing their work. Here's Trump's chief of staff, Susie Wiles, a.k.a. the Ice Maiden.
If you are in Trump world, you are hyper competitive. You want to win. You want people to think what you think and believe what you believe, and mold the country in the way you think best for us, but also for our kids and our grandkids. And so I think that's what kind of keeps me in it. That's what got me in it. That's what keeps me in it. And so I may be quietly competitive.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.